Alright. I've been rather hard at work basically going through all the, campaign missions here for Red Alert. I accrued quite a few of these bonus gallery items basically to go through. And I figured it's time to go through them and show them off a little bit. So let's get to that, shall we? So there's Eric Gooch hanging out in the green room. So Eric Gooch, of course, was basically the guy who was involved with the original Command & Conquer. He was basically the actor for Seth. Mine the floor in the ambush. So here is Joe Cocoon and Frank Kaplaki acting out a scene. Notice that the booties on Joe's feet. Extra care had to be taken to avoid marks on the green screen floor. Joe Cocoon acts out a choking attack on Frank Kaplaki. Joe's theater background came in handy with physical action shots. So yeah, note that Joe Cocoon, who's basically Kane, and Frank, who's basically the audio master behind all the soundtracks and stuff like that. They did do a lot of little minor scenes in the game, the gameplays, little cutscene endings and stuff like that. This one basically is Frank and Joe doing their thing. Soldier without regulation sandals. Frank Kopacki hams it up. If the shot only covered the torso, no attempt was made to make the pants and shoes fit the costume. Makes sense. Kind of like that meme where you basically have those people who are basically doing an office presentation at home. They don't need to wear pants. Kopacki chews the scenery. Frank Kopacki hams it up. Classy set of combat skills. So Joe Cocoon acts out a choking attack on Frank Kopacki. So Joe's fear background comes in handy with his little action shots. The choking of Comrade Kaplaki. So a bit more choking. Regulation Ninja Smoke Break. So Joe Cocoon gives acting directions to Frank Kaplaki on how to conveniently light a cigarette outdoors. So, it makes sense, right? Basically, in the shot, he's lighting up a cigarette, minding his own business before being ninja'd down by Joe. And also, he has to basically teach, how to basically do stuff, right? So, you see, a lot of this basically in the other stuff ways as well, with, the security guard, Tanya. He's basically sort of, teaching, the security guard, how to basically do stuff, how Tanya should be, acting with, the chair and such like that, the shots. Joe Cocoon does a rehearsal on the choke attack maneuver he will perform on Frank Kopacki when the cameras start rolling. So, there's a radical trove inside. Beta cam SP tape of B-roll footage of the Red Alert cinematic shots. Discovered in a strange storage closet at Electronic Arts Los Angeles on January 3rd, 2019. And then music for studying and concentration. Promotional photo for the original Red Alert soundtrack. By the way, note that in the original, Red Alert, they actually did have a separate CD for the audio, OST, original soundtrack. I think that's one of the first times I actually saw a game actually, give not just the game itself, but also a separate soundtrack to basically listen to. And I guess they knew that the soundtrack was a big deal for this game, so yeah, good on them. They basically did that. Alright, let's jump into some of the Soviet stuff basically we have here. Maybe we'll have some videos and stuff like that to go over. So, assassin waiting in the wings. Joe Cocoon in assassin costume. So, his assassin getup. Art imitates life, rocket launcher. So Eric Gooch holding a rocket launcher prop. The weapon is the inspiration for a rocket launcher soldier in C&C. Westwood Studios, the back. So Westwood Studios sign at the location where C&C was created. This sign was created in-house at Westwood by Eric Gooch. Westwood moved to a new location by the time Red Alert was created. Westwood Studios sign at the location where C&C was created. This sign was created in-house at Westwood by Eric Gooch. Westwood moved to a new location by the time Red Alert was created. There's the sign again. The wide, so back, front, wide. Oh, here we go. We got some choreography here. So, Allies shut off the coolant system. So this is basically the mission where you have to kill Tanya in the Soviet campaign. You have to basically go in, knock out all the Ally the pillbox guarding the dogs, watch out for exploding barrels and stuff like that. All the fun stuff in that one. Let's watch it then.
Well, is the core safe? You must stand your ground. Stop them! The Allies attacked the commenced nuclear reactor.
I'm on my way.
No, it's too important. You go.
Faster on you go.
Okay. No, it's too important. You go. They shut off the... They shut...
And that's important too.
I'm not working at all, man.
I don't mean for you to throw it away. I don't mean for you to throw it away, Andrea. No, it's so important. You go. I just need a hair sooner.
Okay. Yeah, no, I get... Okay, I got you. Alright. Okay. The Allies attacked the commenced nuclear reactor.
I will go.
No.
I'm on my way. Sorry.
The Allies attacked the commenced nuclear reactor.
I'm on my way.
No. You go. They shut off the coolant systems. The core will soon go critical.
Okay, so absolutely imperative. One more time.
One more time.
Last bit, when I'm telling him the instructions, you want
Yes.
that more intense or what?
The last bit we were.
When I'm telling him go inside the reactor and blah, blah, blah.
Alright, well. Mike gives a demo for the ages. Mike Lowell demoing at the press event. Mike was programmer at Westwood from 1986 and is co-founder and president of Petroglyph. Also, he was a pivotal programmer on the C&C remasters. So there's basically one of the developers, I guess. Or programmers, or whatever you want to call them. And then Joe Cocoon around the office. Kane enjoys being casual. Alright, this won't be a long video, I guess, but we still have some other stuff to go through. Here's basically a lot of the Aftermath stuff that has been unlocked already, so we'll go through some of it, I guess. Alright, so, the plan, an unreleased track. This is a previously unreleased track never heard before, which was written during the development of Red Alert expansion Aftermath. Likely not considered as strong as the others that made the cut, but still grooves with a bit of 90s Euro style thrown in. Let's listen to it then, shall we? Interesting soundtrack. This reminds me a lot more of like Command & Conquer than Red Alert, but okay. I suppose that like this is a little bit more Red Alert-y, but this really feels like more like a mix of like Command & Conquer and Red Alert than like being one or the other. This song here. You notice that, by the way, each of the songs for both Red Alert and Command & Conquer, they have like a different theme to them. Basically, you have like Command & Conquer is basically about like soldiers and industry and like more Cold War really like area stuff like that. Command & Conquer is basically like, more about like, politics and propaganda and stuff like that. of like today's like sort of world. Alright, so that was the plan. Interesting little audio track there. Alright, let's see what else is basically here. Red Alert background art, free of 11. Red Alert gap jammer, background art. An epic discovery, down in EALA. All the media and videotapes of the Red Alert of the Westwood archive, from which the B-roll was found for the Let's start again. All the media and videotapes of the Westwood archive, from which the B-roll was found for the C&C Remaster, discovered in a storage closet at Electronic Arts Los Angeles on January 3rd, 2019. So lots and lots and lots of stuff in the vault, so to speak. There's a Red Alert submarine background. Joe Cocoon taking aim at the camera. So Kane takes an aggressive stance. To my biggest fan, Kane. Joe Cocoon publicity headshot, taken on green screen to allow for various backgrounds. Red Alert background art, 6 of 11. Red Alert Chrome Spear background art. Red Alert background art, 711. The Red Alert missile silo background art. And a few more down here. So Chris, portrait of a costume soldier. Chris Rubiar in costume as an allied soldier for Red Alert. Chris was a QA tester and recruited for the shot. Mike Grayford in costume as an allied soldier for Red Alert. Mike was a programmer that was recruited for the shot. Red Alert background art, 10 of 11. Red Alert V2 rocket background art. Alright, so that's basically some of the the stuff basically unlocked so far. There's still a lot more basically obviously to go through, but we'll get to that as we get as I unlock it. It's worth knowing that for the expansion campaigns and stuff like that for the Allies and the Soviets, something I'll be showing you guys is actually a bunch of videos for introduction and stuff like that. Basically, there's introduction videos for all the Aftermath and Counterstrike missions for the Soviet and Allies. I'll get to that in its own video, but the thing about them is that I have to sort of play through them again in order to get the completion one. So I have one here, for example, for the introduction to the Italy portion of stuff here, and then I have a completion one as well. But until I actually can complete these other missions, we don't actually have access to both the completion and introduction, so I'm sort of holding off on showing that stuff just yet, but whatever. I still have to play a giant ambush mission at some point, but oh well. Alright, well, progressing along with Command Car Red Alert, hope you guys basically enjoyed this video. And it's interesting to see what what basically they did basically between a remastering the original game and what was basically not included. Let's just quickly load a video here, by the way. I want to see if I actually have the plan basically in the jukebox or not. At some point, by the way, I plan to actually go into like the jukebox and actually change it so like it's just got all the tracks in it. So that'll be coming at some point. Right now, I think I'm basically playing all the original tunes, like the low definition, soft fight definition,
Mission loaded.
whatever you want to call them.
Unit ready. Building.
Yeah, basically right now I got the classic tracks, low fidelity. And the plan. Is the plan in here? No. So, the only way to actually listen to a plan was basically like through like that gallery thing. So, worth noting there basically. Yes, there's all the classic stuff right there that did make it in. Actually, I should probably just do this, make sure it's got all tracks in it, so... Oh! Bonus tracks, that's what I want to do. So yeah, there's basically the plan. Alright, well, I could basically listen to that again for you guys. Is this worth... It's worth knowing basically here, like, there's basically a lot of, like, tracks basically didn't make it into, like, the game, but... I have to say, that's basically an interesting one right there to plan. Also, something note, by the way, some of these, like, art tracks are basically in here, like, you have Command and Conquer with Tiberian Suns. I'm pretty sure that's a Renegade, track, as opposed to, like, Command and Conquer one. And there's also a couple other ones, like, Dusk Hour, I think that's basically also for, Tiberium Sun, as opposed to, like, Tiberium Dawn. So, it's actually including, like, lots of stuff, stuff in here. But whatever.
Battle control terminated.
We've done enough basically of this video, so hope you guys basically enjoy and take care.